we've been invited to talk about a case study of Harvard called Farm Invaders, who's done for our client Chipotle.
Chipotle are one of the leading fast casual dining chains in the US, and they're also in the UK, Germany, and France, and as well as Canada, and they are the leading Mexican fast casual dining chain.
So they came to us, I think, because they like our business model. I've got 20 years in advertising as a creative, and then 20 years as a film executive, with an agent. So between us, we have expertise in both the entertainment industry and the advertising industry, and what they asked for when we gave us the brief was really anything that would engage and feel like more entertainment than it would a commercial. And we ended up doing a 4-part miniseries, scripted comedy that satirized industrial agriculture, because that's basically Chipotle's strategy.
Well, their strategy is that they are very unique in that they serve sustainable fast food, and they've proved over the last 15 years or so that we have a fly in here. So they are basically trying to prove it that you can be sustainable and profitable, whereas their competitors in this space sell more processed fast food. So that's sort of really what is it.
So let's jump into the process, because that was also unique. Once we came up with the idea, we did the boardroom with Chipotle to create a long format story of comedy based on industrial agriculture and how bad and ridiculous it was. We then set about writing a pilot. So for Daniel's contacts in the entertainment world, we enlisted an Oscar-nominated screenwriter, Jeremy Kixer, to be in the writer's room. Also, Mike Newton, who's a renowned TV writer. We also had Chipotle's voice lead Nessie in the writer's room, Daniel, and myself. And that's really how it started, with the script for the first pilot. We then presented to Chipotle. As a brand, we needed to know how to evaluate a half-hour scripted comedy pilot. So we invited actors to come into the boardroom and actually read out the script. And then from there, they were able to see how it felt. They approved the pilot, they shot the pilot. For less than a blockbuster commercial, I would say. And then instead of spending a lot of money on the post-production and all that kind of stuff, we did a screening for them to make a decision as to whether or not they would go forward with more episodes of the series, or whether they would show the pilot and test it out on the public to see if it was popular. As it turned out, they really liked the pilot, so they agreed that we wanted to see it before.
Well, before we get to the results, I think it's also important to talk about what we did sort of leading up to the release. This is a bit unprecedented. Number one, Chipotle, from a brand standpoint, they weren't really branded in the series at all. It's fairly unbranded. The only ways we tied it back to Chipotle were by surrounding the series with Chipotle messaging, as well as presenting credit to Farm Invaders. And so then it became like, how do you distribute this thing? How do you distribute it in an environment where it felt like entertainment? So we reached out to the various entertainment distribution possibilities in the US, and Hulu at the time seemed like the most logical fit because they had other content that seemed very similar. So we made a deal with Hulu where it was a revenue share, which meant that whatever money that we spent against the show, we actually recouped against whatever advertising was streamed against the show. And one, I think, interesting outcome of that was that another brand, Ben & Jerry's, which has similar values to Chipotle, actually bought advertising to the show. And then some other things that I think are worth pointing out is that we knew Chipotle wanted to start a dialogue around the subject matter. So we thought, well, where can they have this dialogue? Hulu isn't a place where we're going to actually get into a conversation about it. So we proposed to prey on Huffington Post, which I'm sure many of you know is one of the leading news and blogging and resources for this kind of information, and we actually built what is called a social, what's it called? A social impact section on Huffington Post, and it became it's called Food for Thought, and it became the most successful social impact section ever. And it's a place where we both marketed the show, but also invited Chipotle, people who are on Chipotle thinking, as well as the people who aren't. And well, Tim's busy killing flies. And we basically took that and a bunch of other elements and combined them to lead up to the release, which included premieres and screenings and inviting press to cover the events, etc.
And it had 1 million views per month, unique views, but they treated it very authentically. So when they did the conversation, they even invited their toughest competitors to come and criticize, what Chipotle were doing, because they had their critics, and they were able to respond to that. So it was a really interesting exercise and just authentic, branding and experience. So as far as the results go, let's talk about them for a little bit. We can come back to the show. I'm sure you're eager to know, was it successful? It's always the big measure of branded content, and it's difficult to measure. So we brought in someone to dive in pretty deep to learn what we could safely assume was responsible as a result. And basically, we ended up conservatively estimating an 800% return on investment when you look at the sales from the stores. There were other measurements, one outside, really interesting outside valuations done by the Participant Index. This is Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, along with Participant Media and the University. Basically, they looked at the last 10 or so years of films and television that had something to say about cause. They got, I think, over 5,000 people to participate and view these shows, and most of these shows were created by Participant Media, which is a company dedicated to creating films, with Matt Damon, scripted films, but also documentaries including Thomas Lamb and Matt Damon, that kind of stuff. And surprisingly, they added carbon dampers to it. We didn't know they were, but the results came back, and it was believed to be the highest rated piece of entertainment as far as persuading the viewer to change their behavior. So not only was it unique in that it topped all the scores for engagement, but also persuasiveness. It was the only branded show that was tested, and was tested against mainstream entertainment as mainstream entertainment. So there's no argument anymore based on that result that branded content cannot be more persuasive than traditional advertising, and also can be just as entertaining and informative as mainstream.
Just to follow up on the success of the show, I think the other place that we're saying about in terms of getting the return on investment is the fact that this is entertainment, and we always set out to create something that would stand next to other entertainment. So what ended up happening was while we were releasing the show on Hulu, we started meeting with foreign sales companies that handle television, and we actually brought on a foreign sales company to try to sell Farm and Dangerous internationally. And as of today, we have, although we haven't formally announced it yet, we can tell you that we just signed a major subscription video on demand deal with one of the biggest distributors that's a household name for most of you. I don't want to say who it is just yet. But we are actually, as we speak, delivering what was 4 episodes into 12 episodes, and we cut it down from half-hour episodes into 6 to 8 minute episodes. And we're actually getting paid now and sharing the IP with Chipotle and actually selling, and we've sold at least 2 or 3 countries, and with this new deal, we'll be in about another 15 countries. So in countries where Chipotle has restaurants, they're actually being paid to market. So we think that's pretty exciting. And coupling that with Ben and Jerry's buying ads in their show, I think we're proving that this is really a viable way forward for brands to talk about issues that are important to them, and also perhaps get a real return on investment, not just a sales funnel. Over to you, Tim.
Okay, so we can sort of go back to the process a little bit and the release, and I think the budget and how to make this happen. There's a couple of unique things about this project. One is, as soon as we knew what we wanted to do, we created a company as film, as a independent entertainment projects often do. So Fun and Dangerous became its own company. Piro and our company and Chipotle shared ownership of that company 50-50. So what that meant was that once Chipotle had done the release, got their PR, had their billion impressions, and had their market success, they were less motivated in, well, let's keep going, and more focusing on their own marketing and doing other things. While they're doing other things, we were motivated to sell the show to other, distribution portals, so we would then get an income from that. And I think that's a unique relationship between a brand and a company that really has a mutual benefit if you can get to a level where the principals of the agency or production company can work with the top level, I guess the C-suite of the brands, to create a business model where ideally the brands are creating projects which they can sell.
And I think it would be interesting for you guys, maybe, hopefully, is to learn sort of what our general process is as a company. I think what sets what we're trying to do, I think, brand entertainment, brand content, as many of you probably in the room struggle with yourselves, is that, brands are saying, oh, how can we measure effectiveness? Agencies, there's no standardization of measurement. There isn't a lot of successful creative people can point to. Ever since BMW did their, really sort of